Namaskar. There's a question on quietening of the mind. But before we go into that, let us understand, is the mind needed? Yes, it is very much. Because if the mind was not needed, it wouldn't have been there in the first place. So, it helps in our daily activities, and it also helps in gaining freedom. However, in certain occasions, it is felt to be a hindrance, and that is exactly what we need to address just by quietening the mind. The best way to quieten the mind is to know how this mind becomes a hindrance. It becomes a hindrance when there is a desire. So the desire acts as a turbulence. The desire for something or not for something. Desire for or against something. So if this desire is not there for or against something, there will not be a turbulence, and hence the mind will not be required to come in the active mode. Now, how does this happen? For this, there is something called Nishkam Karma, means acting without any desire for a return. Nishkam, without any kamna, we are carrying out, which means the mind has to be independent of its object of desire. So if that object is missing, we are not providing that object to the mind, obviously it will not get associated with it. And when it doesn't get associated, the question of returns, the question of results doesn't come in. And when that doesn't happen, the mind is said to be in a state of rest. It is there, but in a state of rest. For all worldly activities, we would be requiring a mind. We would be requiring an end result. We would be needing a process and a definite aim, a definite fructification, a definite result of that object. That is a different issue. What we are talking of the phases other than that active phase where the hardness is needed, where there are certain man-made parameters which have to be achieved. That's fine. But beyond that, mind is not needed. And when mind is not needed, for all other things, there is no object. Here also, while we are on the job, we are doing it. That's about all. But beyond that, there is nothing to be hooked on to. So the mind doesn't get linked to any object. And when that doesn't happen, it is a state of Nishkam Karma, That is to say, there will be no agitation in mind, which will mean that the mind is in a calm and quiet and a peaceful situation. This people try to achieve with some amount of sadhana. It can be done. However, in our worldly life, in our day-to-day activities, as a samsaric being, I find that would be a slightly difficult thing to achieve vis-a-vis the one which we have just discussed. Thank you.